Hey y'all, welcome back to Movement Link. So I just want to talk to you a little bit about a trap that happens all the time, and it's just the single modality or single piece of equipment trap. And it happens because it's super easy to sell. If you're going to be a kettlebell person, of course you're going to tell everybody that kettlebells are the best. They only need to buy one kettlebell, then they listen to you and they've got the program. Or if it's, oh man, you name it. There's so many different styles that are so one-dimensional, and they're always based off of really good kind of results and things that happen in scientific literature. So I just want to spend a little bit of time to talk about this and put it in the context of why we need to take this holistic approach, and we want to take advantage of the pros of so many different things. That way we can minimize the cons of so many different types of things. So, man, I don't even know if I should, but there's tempo squatting. There's programs that are time under tension. There's programs where you focus only on reps in reserve. There's programs where you do everything like a set to failure. There's programs where you do extremely slow motion reps to failure. Basically, if you can think of it, there is a program that is one-dimensional on one of these lines. Usually it's backed up by a scientific study of some sort. So first, let's just start there. What are these scientific studies? There's a lot of great ones, but exercise research is extremely hard. Mainly because it's so hard to control the types of population you're getting and what they're doing out in their regular lives. So most of the time, these studies are based on either untrained individuals or a mixture of trained and untrained individuals. What we know is untrained individuals, we can throw almost anything at them and they're going to get better. So what happens a lot is these one-dimensional studies will look at kind of muscle growth of this type of thing. But remember, muscle growth is one of 1,000 mechanisms that we're trying to control through exercise. So the issue with all these studies is although we can learn a ton, and we do, and I'm not trying to take away from the studies, I'm trying to take away from the people who take this study and use it like it's just the gospel. So what we need to look at is the whole perspective of everything and how we can take what we learned here and apply it in other ways. So here's what we know. We know that it takes a little bit of time to adapt to something. So what we like to base what we're doing on is we want what we're doing to get harder and harder and harder and harder, hopefully to a point that is above anything that you've ever done before. And then we like to back off and we like to go harder and harder and harder and harder up to a new point, bigger than something you've ever done before. So that's extremely general, but in the scope of kind of how we're programming and how we're cycling, we need to be working towards something that's harder than you've ever done before. And if we're going to keep you getting better and better and better and better year after year, what we're actually trying to do is give you room to grow and then back off to develop a foundation and skill and adaptations and grow. And as we get here, we need to add variation and we need to add different things to switch it up so we can get a stimulus. So what we know is if we do the same thing over and over and over and over again, you don't get better indefinitely, no matter how well you've trained. So say we'll just use 5x5 back squats. If you're going 5x5 back squats, you are going to get better and better and better and better and better and better and better. So how long should you stick with 5x5 back squats? Probably as long as it's working. There's no reason to switch it until it stops. But what we know is at some point, it doesn't go up forever. At some point, your gains are going to start to get marginal and they might actually start to decrease, and that rep ski might actually be a detriment to you. So what happens is these people making all of these claims are focusing on this section, and this could be 4 weeks, it could be 12 weeks, it could be years, but probably not. 4 to 12 weeks for most is what we'll kind of assume before you've kind of reached the limit And now the gains you're getting are just so marginal that it's not worth the effort, and maybe you're even going to get worse the more you continue on with this because the adaptations have gone. So then what we need to do, and this is what the top level programs do, is now we take advantage of as much of this as possible, and then we change over into a new thing that's going to take us into more heights. So we want to take advantage of the adaptations because say we're learning a new exercise here, we're going to get better and better and better and better and better at that exercise, and we want to take advantage of that. So if we learn a new exercise, then move on to a new exercise and move on to a new exercise, we never gain the skill and proficiency in that exercise to really take advantage of the adaptations from it. So we want to take advantage of these adaptations, but before we get into this plateau and possible decline, we want to switch it up and we want to vary our rep schemes, the intensities. We want to vary maybe how the training looks and stances and angles. There's so many things that we can vary here. But what happens is people choose and implement, and then they make claims like the Russian kettlebell swing is the best thing, so we should be doing almost all kettlebell movements. And although I agree the Russian kettlebell swing is an absolutely incredible thing, I also agree that tempo squats are great and 3 sets of 10 are amazing. All of these things are absolutely amazing, but again, they've got pros and cons to everything, and what we're trying to do and what you need to be trying to do is we're trying to set you up to take advantage of all the pros of a kettlebell, or in all the pros of training to failure, and all the pros of this periodization. And we're trying to remove as many of the cons as possible so we can place this together so we can continue getting better and better and better and better and better as we go. So, long story short, really what you need to do is you just need to be very critical of things you see. And whenever somebody is claiming that they found the one way that does this, that means probably that one way is something great and something you should be playing around with and something you should be incorporating. But it's usually, if it's a one way and here's the magic pill, it's probably way too good to be true, and it's not actually going to have the benefits that it's claiming. Hope that helps. Talk to y'all soon.